Hi guys, I'm Gerline and welcome to my channel. So now I am officially a registered practical nurse from nursing student and I cleared my REXPN examination at 90 questions. We'll be sharing with you my experience, how I cleared it in first attempt, which resources which I used, and also I will tell you the story behind my panic that when I came to know that I stopped at 89 questions or 90 questions. I was really worried that my test stopped at 89 questions, but the reason behind my worry I will be sharing in this video. So let's get started. So I did my graduation in Diploma in Practical Nursing from a public college in Ontario in April 2024, and then I took a month off to refresh myself, to do a small vacation with my friends and visit my family. After a month's time, I decided to get a license and be a licensed professional. So it took me like 15 days because my school has already sent my documents to CNO or College of Nurses of Ontario. So you need to register yourself first to get the authorization to test. So it took me like 15 days from Pearson VUE to get the authorization to test, and then I booked my examination. And I remember I had only 2 weeks of time to study, or nearly 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks of time to study. I was really panicked at that time, but then I found some resources which were really helpful for me to get into that. So REXPN is a regulatory exam for all the nursing students, those who want to be a registered practical nurse in Ontario and also in British Columbia. So all the students who are studying their diploma in practical nursing in British Columbia and Ontario have to go through this exam to get their license and be a professional. So this exam consists of minimum of 90 questions. So mark me that when I say minimum of 90. So if your test stops before 90 questions, like at 85 or 80, unfortunately, you didn't make it. Because the REXPN exam, the website, it says that the test should contain minimum of 90 questions in order for the computer to determine the eligibility of the test taker to be a professional. So my test, the last questions I did was 89. I remember doing the 89th question, and when I got the 90th question, my test has stopped. And I was telling myself that I did 89 questions, I did 89 questions. I was telling everyone in my family that I did 89 questions. But then when I saw the website, it says that you have to do a minimum of 90. And I was really scared to death at that time that, oh my God, I failed. Then the next morning I got my result and I passed and got my license number. So it should stop at 90 questions, mind me, in that. After that, after filling my test on REXPN website, I got my test date and location and I marked it on my calendar and started studying for that. So before I started to study, I wanted to get familiarized with the pattern of the examination and types of questions they're gonna ask me. So I decided to read the test plan for REXPN and also take the practice paper which they have on their website. So it is officially available, which are really helpful in getting to know the exam pattern. After reading those papers and the test plan, I got to know that the more focus on management of care and not on the med surg and pharmacology. Like they do focus on that, but that's like how do you prioritize and the safety of the patient using the med surg and pharmacology. It's not the straightforward questions which we have done in our particular course, but it's like the overall of that. So the main focus of you should be on safety of the patient or prioritizing the care for a number of patients. Those are the very critical questions that every REXPN examination asks. So after that, I went into my books. So because I am a good reader and I love to read, so I didn't want it to go on social media, on like YouTube videos or on online lectures or anything. I did use Simple Nursing and Registered Nurse Sara for a few days, but I realized that that the content in them is way too much. Like, I was not able to decide which video to watch and which to not to watch. And then when I started reading the books, same happened in the books as well. So I found this book on internet, which is Mosby's Comprehensive Review book. This book has really proved me wrong that books contain so much information. No, this book contains just the information that you need to clear your XPN examination. From med-surg to peds to maternity and to pharmacology. All the topics, all the coursework of a nursing school has been covered in this much book, this much page length, this much width of the book. So this book literally took me 5 days to read. So out of 2 weeks of time, I read this book. To let you know, guys, that I studied especially in the afternoon, like around 12 o'clock, because I'm not a good morning person. I'm a good afternoon person. So I started studying around 12, and then I studied until 7 or 8. I used to take a break of 2 hours, have my dinner and everything, and then I again started studying around 10 o'clock up to 1 or 2 o'clock. Then I used to sleep, and I remember doing this thing for 2 weeks. And on the day of my exam, I booked the exam for 1 p.m. because I cannot wake up in the morning. After reading that book for 5 days, and also I used to do some practice questions. For the practice questions, I only used one book, which was Mosby's Comprehensive Practice Papers. This practice paper book is also available on Amazon. I will share the link below in my bio of both the books. Questions on that Mosby's book were very similar to the questions that I got on my real examination. Of course, I was not able to get them all right on my Mosby's practice paper book. I used to get a lot of questions wrong as well. But don't worry about that. Just read the rationals and get going. In between that, I also took demo for a lot of apps which are available, like a lot of subscription apps like UWorld, Archer's Review, Nurse Achieve. Then there was one more that I forgot. I think it was a premium version of Simple Nursing. Yeah, Simple Nursing. The demo subscription of all these apps, and I found one thing in common, that these subscription apps were really hard to crack. Like, you have to I got, to be honest, I got like 50% in UWorld, and in Archer's Review I used my friend's account to do just overall into that overall practice paper, and I got like 55% in that. According to them, if we get like 55%, we have a very high chance of passing the real RexPN examination. But it really lowered my confidence level. So I decided to go with Mosby's practice paper, because in that book it just says that if you're able to get 70%, you have a really very high chance of passing the real test. In first 2 test papers, I was getting like 55 or 60%, but in the third paper, I got 70%. And let me tell you how I got that. So I listened to the lectures of Mark Klimek. So Mark Klimek is an educator which you can find on Spotify or on YouTube or on any website. These lectures are available everywhere and you can get them for free. So just listen to those lectures. I used to listen to them like while driving or while cooking or while doing anything, even sometime in the shower. So those lectures were really helpful for me because it gives all the tips and tricks which I needed to get my exam done. After completing them, I took the third practice paper from that Mosby's practice papers, and I got 70%. I was really confident after that yes, I can do that. I remember a day before my exam, I only did my the lab values. That's it. Like, I am not the person who can remember all the lab values in just one go. I did the lab values along with my previous study as well, like while reading the book, while doing the Mark Klimek, and while doing the practice papers. But that one day I dedicated only to lab values, and that's it. Nothing else but just the lab values, and only the basic lab values. You don't need to go into depth like proteins and cholesterol level. No, just the RBC, WBC, platelets, the hemoglobin for men and women, and basic blood pressure values, heart rate, respiratory rate, just the basics, just focus on the basics. You don't need to be an expert. So yeah, for the test day, my only suggestion will be to read the Klimek notes which you might have made from the lectures, and also to give a quick reading to all the lab values. And yeah, that's it. Like, you cannot do more in that much time. So just don't waste your time panicking. Arrive at the testing center on time, have a good breakfast before going, stay hydrated, and you can do it. So if you like this video and you want more tips on nursing student life, and if you want to know more about the day in the life of nurses, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel, and do let me know in the comments if you need more information about these resources, and if you have any suggestions for all those people who are viewing this video. Thank you.